going on, you bunch of heathens? Today we are checking out another Brandon Herrera video. This one is called The Real Jawa Blaster, the British grenade launcher pistol. I've been waiting to watch it because I saw when it first came out and I knew, wait a couple days, let him get his views, then I'll check it out. So here we are. Make sure to check out the original video. It'll be linked down below. So let's jump in. Ah, that's such a sexy gun.
Starshine. The galaxy says hello. This is the Lee Enfield. Chambered in .303 British, this was the main British infantry rifle from World War I, World War II, and beyond. Now this is also a Lee Enfield. But if you also didn't touch a boob until well after middle school, you might know it as the Jawa Blaster. But this—
Hey. I touched a boob in middle school, and I knew it was a Jawa Blaster. Don't be talking shit on me. Unless I'm just an overachiever or something.
This is much more than just a cursed, cut-down Lee Enfield with a tube on the end.
It's not cursed, that's
this actually
fucking
has a very interesting and rich
gritty
history, and we're going to go into that a little bit, but we're also going to shoot it. We've got a bunch of fun little projectiles for this thing today, so let's have some fun. Now, so what we're using to launch projectiles out of this thing is basically just run-of-the-mill .303 British blanks. There's no bullet in it. We can load that up in our gun, chamber it, and then when we fire it, it's going to build enough pressure.
Yep, pretty standard stuff. Is it, I forget exactly what I was going to say. I was going to say something. Of course, I fucking forgot.
To launch whatever projectile we want out the front of the gun.
Sounds about right.
Now, originally, the big boys were made for launching smoke grenades. This one here, I'm told, was meant for launching actual hand grenades. Rip this blank out of here real quick. Apparently, you just stick a sabot in and then a live.
Oh, that's right. I wanted a, what's it called? I want a Lee Enfield, but chambered for 308 because as much as I would love to have an actual 303 version, I have a feeling the ammo price would kill me.
Have a grenade in the top, pull the pin, and just fucking let her rip. Hey, shit ass. Yep, so you load your projectile, drop
big
a blank
fast
in
chuckle
like
nuts,
so, and then it's actually way brighter than I thought it would be. Blanks for fun. Now, in
nice
the original
fucking fireball.
Star Wars film, this was used to capture droids. Now, since we don't have a custom load for that date-rapey blue shit, seriously, I'm about as pro-gun as they come, but if that thing existed in real life, I don't think I'd trust anybody with it. But in lieu of that, we're going to have to capture droids in a more practical way. All right, next, so what do we have here
Set to
besides
stun
the
and
BDSM
ion.
dream catcher?
Well, I just made this so I could feel like a festival girl, really. But so we got a chain around the edge that provides some of the weight. Hopefully, with this rifling on the wad itself, we can get a little bit of a spin to it, which is going to hopefully push this chain on the outside, keep the net open.
Gotcha. So it's kind of like a rifled slug because the...
It took me a second to recognize who he was. I'm pretty sure this is one of Brandon's workers.
The tube itself doesn't have any rifling, it's all smoothbore. We're hoping that the sabot is going to be able to make up for that. I don't think that's the end of the hammer you're supposed to use. Good enough for sand people. So now that we have our net loaded, it's probably a good time to explain this little vent here. This is kind of like an adjustable gas block, except not for a semi-automatic weapon. It's just for, you know, how hard do you want to launch something? Because if you close the vent all the way,
all that power,
full power. There's no gas escaping through the side. I'm not sure if you could see it on the slow-mo, but you could probably see a little bit of fire popping out of here.
Yep, a little bit.
Just bleeding off that extra energy depending on the sensitivity of your projectile or how far you want to throw. All right, so now let's go catch ourselves a Roomba. You are being rescued. Please do not resist.
Oh, that's kind of a letdown. But no, I got that reference. That was from Rogue One. Also, sorry if I'm kind of being quiet. I'm kind of nursing a hangover from my birthday yesterday. So sorry about that. Okay, it looks better in slow-mo.
Our chain came undone, but it did kind of work. That is completely tangled around. Holy fuck. How'd that even manage to do that?
Science, bitch.
Well, bad news. Much like a real festival girl, your costume came undone in the first 5 seconds.
Womp womp.
Denied success. Let's move on to something a little bit more lethal.
So Brandon, you may be asking, why did you decide to bubba a beautiful piece of history just to make a dinky little Star Wars prop? Well, aggressive hypothetical viewer, short answer is we didn't. Well, yes, this is a Lee Enfield. In fact, it was made in 1916 and
I'm going to assume he bought it in this configuration, and whoever saying that Bubba, you're almost as bad as regular FUDs.
survived
You do
the Great
actually do
War.
that.
Unfortunately, after that, it was deactivated and turned into a drill rifle with the bolt being welded shut. At some point along the way, it ended up in India, and by the time we got to it, it was absolutely
God,
just
India?
beat to shit. A bunch of the parts had already been replaced. It was covered in spray paint and a bunch of shit. Hopefully not literally, but picked it up for about $100.
Okay, Brandon, here's the thing. If it made it to India, I've seen what those streets look like. It probably had shit on it at one point. I mean, fuck, it made it through the Great War. Could have gotten shit on it in that point.
Bucks, and by the time we got to it, all the historic value was pretty much gone. So instead of just being a beat up, non-functional gun, we were able to turn it into something that hopefully millions of people will enjoy, or at least tolerate.
So as we just mentioned before we loaded the net, this is a bit of a smoothbore.
Ghetto
Meaning that
blaster.
This could basically behave as a very short, sawn-off shotgun. So we got to thinking. And since the company is, you know, the AK guy, what better to use as our buckshot than a bunch of AK rivets? Because
Honestly, yeah, you're turning into a blunderbuss. Or a
Sometimes the
scattergun.
droids-
I think in Star Wars they're considered scatterguns.
misbehave and need to be taught a lesson.
Well, I know in the 2015 Battlefront, you could it's used as a shotgun equivalent. Or scattergun, I guess.
Best job I ever had. Jawa blaster.
Yeah, I don't fucking
buckshot.
blame you.
Parry this, you filthy clanker.
Damn, he really said it with a hard R, huh?
Oh yeah, wow. You can see, I was wondering if they impacted decently hard. You can see, obviously, these are like full-size bullets, but the rivets, you can see each individual little impact mark. Not a terrible spread either.
It's time to talk about
And to be fair, you were pretty close.
TACPAC is your ultimate tactical subscription service, where you can get things like an SOG multi-tool. It's gonna be really loud in this new office with no carpet or padding. Reptilia pistol grip.
Get some carpets
Mantis
then.
X dry fire training systems. Walker Digital Ear Pro. Merch and more. And new
love it
subscribers
how
can
he-
use the code AK Guide to get an extra
I love it how
box of
he,
tactical gear worth at least $60. That will ship inside.
What's it called? Love it how he cringes every time.
TACPAC.
Like
So use
he's
the links down in
prepping
the
for it.
description and in the pinned comment.
That's what I was trying to
remember,
go
if it's your
for.
first time, use the code AK Guide. They'll go GHETTO. Thank you to TACPAC. Back to the video.
All right,
What if
that's what
I don't
we're gonna
want
shoot
it,
just
General?
to see what kind of pattern, what kind of spread we have on these rivets here with a White Claw penetration test, no less. 3, 2,
Oh, this will be
One.
interesting.
oh, that recoil.
Did
is
he
way
just
sharper on the cock.
Did he just cock shot himself?
Came close. How the fuck did we not hit it? Look at the, you can see there's rivets embedded in the dirt around it. Yeah, a spread from up here to down here is straight up like, this is what fucking video game devs think that shotguns actually do. That was at what?
Oh my
fucking
god,
10
it
feet?
is.
I think that recoil, because we packed that the wad at the end a little bit tighter. Yeah. Recoil was a lot sharper than I was expecting, and it missed the crown jewels by like ½ an inch. Well, it might have survived the rivets, but don't worry. We have plans for you.
So
You're gonna
something I
shoot
think
out
that's
of it,
actually
shoot
worth
it
noting
out.
about this is that while this might be a pistol configuration of something that is pretty much blank fire only, this is legally registered as an SBR. Now this is because while it is perfectly legal to turn a pistol into a rifle, it is not legal, however, to turn a rifle into a pistol without it being an SBR by default. So even though there's really no stock to speak of, this bad boy is a short-barreled rifle. Even though, like said before, it is
dumb
basically
fucking gun
incapable
laws.
of firing live ammunition and has no stock. Does that make sense to you?
Nope.
Me either. The ATF is gay, repeal the NFA. I swear, whoever's writing these firearm laws know nothing about firearms.
I love that
or
saying.
weapons technology, which anybody can get their start in at sdi.edu.
Nice
So next
segue.
up, we're going to be firing a White Claw. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, what we're using on all these different projectile loads is a form of wadding. You might
Loads.
recognize this from like a shotgun. Basically, when you have projectiles where you either have a lot of them or something that doesn't quite fit the size of your bore, you
Oh,
kind
what
of
the
just got to
fuck?
use like a
How'd I
cup
fucking
like this
turn?
to at least seal off the gases so you can build
the fuck
pressure
did I
and be able
manage
to
to turn
launch your
around?
projectile. Or in this
How the
case,
fuck did I
to
manage
kind
that?
of shim it so that it actually fits down the bore. Because if we just tried to send it
Nope.
with a
I
White
didn't do it.
Claw,
Yeah, I don't know how the fuck I did
some
that.
of you might be having flashbacks to your bitch ex-wife. I'm just kidding, of course. I have never been married and have a great respect for women. Anyway, so
Nice.
we're going to be using this, and now all of a sudden our White Claw fits relatively snug. There's a little movement there, but at the same time it's building that pressure and
It's like
kind of
throwing a hot
cupping
dog
around
down a
the claw
hallway.
to be able to launch it. All right, well, ready to launch it? Sending a White Claw to hyperspace in 3, 2, 1.
It's the holdo maneuver.
Well, that is what you call overpressure. This was our second prototype of the Claw Sabo, and apparently there's still a little bit too much ass on it. And we had the gas vent all the way open, but just that sudden.
Well, what was it? Why do I turn so much like this? The boys, when they went out shooting at your guys' at their range a year or two ago, they you had something along the lines of this. I don't remember exactly what it was, but they were shooting White Claws. I do remember that. So you have something.
acceleration is just too much for it to bear. He'll be missed. Also, 303 Brit is just kind of a schlong of a cartridge.
Also, some of you might recognize this from Fortnite, because they apparently just added this to Fortnite.
Mhm.
How do you do, fellow Zoomers?
Fortnite.
God, what the fuck?
Also, yes, the gun wall is going up. Look, I know we're in like a fucking empty hostage room. The Gallotech is there on the ground. I've got more Gallotech on the way. This is gonna be a beautiful wall, bigger than any wall we've ever had. Does your empty office have an ACR in the corner? Didn't fucking think so. Shut up. For me personally, I
fucking
dig
wish.
the fact that whoever the prop guys were on Star Wars, I know that Star Wars has almost like got a meme about its gun culture, where all the guns that they use for props in that like are basically just World War II guns. Like you got MG34s, Lewis guns, the Stormtrooper blasters are just like Sterling submachine guns. It's all just shit that they put like some wires and stuff on to make.
Yeah, no, that was the whole point. It was because they were, it was a fairly shoestring budget for something that became so big that they were able to just fucking get those guns really cheap. And it was just, okay, how do we make these look kind of sci-fi? Toss some wires and shit on them.
Make it look sci-fi, but it works. It's a vibe. I dig that
It's
there's
a perfect
historical
fucking
context behind even little shit like the Jawa blaster, which apparently made another cameo in the new season of Andor. I haven't seen it. Fucking sue me. Disney Star Wars doesn't really excite me these days. We'll put up some
No, it
pictures,
really
but they
doesn't.
did use these little cut down Lee Enfields, and they put adapters on them for grenade launching, for smoke grenades.
Oh,
and
that's
things like
a-
that, and they put them on.
That was a fucking vibe. Hold up. That first picture.
And they put adapters on them for grenade launching.
That is a fucking vibe. Having it on the outside of your tank, wired up to pull the trigger to act as fucking smoke launchers. That is a fucking vibe and a half. I love that. That's fucking cool.
For smoke grenades and things like that, and they put them on tanks, on vehicles. They'd mount a couple of those fuckers up there and then just remotely trigger, you know, launching smoke grenades and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's a fucking
incredibly practical. I mean, you already have a fuckload of these things hanging around. Yeah, I personally didn't even really know that was a thing until a couple months ago, or maybe a couple years ago. I saw one of these adapters for sale. I'm like, what the fuck is that? And then of course I go face first down the rabbit hole, and here we are. Now, if you want to know more about how we built this thing, we have another episode of The Boys in the Garage available on Pepperbox now. It follows Zach and Nick as they talk about the process of putting this thing together and what all went into rebuilding the gun enough to be a Jawa blaster and what all the testing was like on it. So if you really like the more technical, nitty-gritty side to these videos, I highly recommend you checking that out on Pepperbox. It is down below. Links are in the description and in the pinned comment. It is
Honestly, I would love to see him. I'm just gonna give this shit a like right now. I would love to see him do a series about Star Wars guns in general, because there's so many of them. Like, I would love to know what the Tusken Raider gun is based off of. Yeah, hell, you could do all the Imperial weapons. Like, it could just be hella fucking cool. I'd love to see it.
However, you can just start a free trial and watch the video. Here's a secret. If you don't like the rest of the content, you just fucking cancel. So if that interests you, go ahead and check it out. Let's go shoot some more shit.
Now, trying to think of some cool projectiles, like what would be neat to shoot out of this Jawa blaster. One thing came to mind, which I'm sure several other people in the comments also thought about.
The dildo?
Make it a 50 cal.
Oh.
Well, we really can't do that. It's not really how.
I guess we have different thought processes. I thought shoot a dildo out of it.
Works. But we can do the next best thing. Have it literally shoot a 50 cal. Why would we do that, you might ask? Well, when you fire the whole bullet, you get 60% more bullet per bullet.
He's trying to fuck it. Oh my god, they're doing what journalists fucking actually think bullets are.
See no way that this could go horribly wrong. Yes, this is a real Sabo that fits a 50 BMG. I was joking. I said we should do a version that has just a little ball bearing glued to the bottom so that on impact it causes the round to go off. That's a frankly horrible idea, and I'm not going to do it because I don't yet want to die. Now, in the interest of safety, we're not going to be using a live 50 BMG cartridge because, like said, but to replicate it, we will be using a 50 BMG dummy round to mimic the flight pattern of a 50 cal. Looks like those tank rounds.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what this is. Like, you say that, it's a fucking dart with casing around it. This is exactly what fucking tank rounds are. Or APF SDS, however it is.
Fuck it. Holy shit. Got some decent heat on that one.
Damn, that fucking shit started tumbling.
Hit the sign with enough ass to knock it over. That Sabo disintegrated. Finding little chunks here and there. I want to say the 50 BMG spun off this way.
I got another pedal right here.
Oh, really? That far? Damn.
I think it went off to the right, didn't it?
I think that might be lost to time.
We ain't found shit.
Well, ladies and gents, that's
a good joke.
The Jawa
I like
blaster.
that.
Hope you guys enjoyed.
Let me look at the slow-mo again. It looked like it went off to the right.
Heat on that one.
Yeah, that shit launched off to the right. They were looking the wrong spot.
Hit the sign with enough ass. Well, ladies and gents, that is the Jawa blaster. Hope you guys enjoyed this as much as I did. I think this is neat because, again, at heart, I'm a bit of a nerd. I know you guys are too. If you want to see more like Hollywood hybrid stuff like that, please let me know down in the comments.
Hell yeah,
and while you're down
that
there,
would be
please
dope.
Check to see if you are still subscribed. YouTube is still unsubscribing people. It really
I am
hurts
not,
my
and I
fucking
don't know
peepees
why.
when they do that. But to be sure that you don't miss any of our future stuff, check and make sure that you are subscribed. Big shout out to the boys in the garage for again helping this thing come to life so we can.
And it would be incredibly cool to see all that. And yeah, this is a fucking dope idea because it's a piece of nerd history and now real history. You have a fucking a functional Jawa blaster sitting on your wall. That's pretty fucking dope.
As always, I will see you sexy YouTube mother lovers in the next video. Bye. Really glad there wasn't a blank still in there.
Oh, I would have laughed.
I cleared it, but you never know. Well, this gun was an India bringback.
Yeah, just from a personal... Oh, cover the microphone, don't do that. Hello. Probably not well.
That was good. That was good. And again, sorry if I'm super low energy right now. I'm still nursing my hangover. That was the real Jawa blaster by Brendan Herrera. Make sure you check out the original video. Like and subscribe if you want to see more of me. And until next time, take care of yourselves. See ya.